The next money making opportunity in the crypto space is here. And no, you don't even have to buy a token. It is going to be another airdrop. And this one might be just as big as the Uniswap airdrop that happened a couple of years ago. Now, quite recently, Optimism, which was a layer 2 scaling solution, had an airdrop and it did quite well. If we actually come and look at this chart, so as we can see, the Optimism airdrop happened back in the summer month of June. And initially, when that airdrop actually happened, typically there was a massive sell-off because let's be honest, if you're getting free money, why would you not want to take advantage of it? So what happened was Optimism actually dropped almost 80% there. But since then, Optimism has actually been on quite a rally. So since this actual massive sell-off when the airdrop happened, Optimism has rallied over 500%. And a lot of people are expecting this new token to do the same exact thing. And what's this token that you're asking? Well, it's going to be Arbitrum. Arbitrum is finally going to be doing an airdrop on their token, and it's going to be a governance token. Now, that's going to be a very important detail to understand. Whereas when Optimism had their airdrop, while it was a governance token, a lot of people, as we can see, they just automatically sold off because, hey, it wasn't really that exciting to hold it. You're going to be able to participate in like a DAO, proposals, things like that. And then over time, as we can see, people did get back into it. But the reason I'm really excited for Arbitrum is because of this. Look at the TVL. Right now, their TVL is sitting at around almost $3 billion. And that's obviously thanks to GMX, which we will take a look at, versus Optimism. Their TVL is just only over $1 billion. So right off the bat, Arbitrum has a TVL that is 3 times larger than Optimism. And that's why a lot of people are expecting it to do much larger gains and just to have a lot more success compared to Optimism. So let's just kind of dive into it. There's been a lot of news that's been coming out. People are trying to figure out what's the price going to be. Is it better to sell now and then buy when, we do have another market dip? Or is it better to just kind of hold this airdrop until the next bull run? Personally, if we do take a look at, airdrops historically, a lot of them go on to do some crazy numbers. Like we're talking, you could get airdropped right now $1,000 worth. And if you end up holding it for a decent amount of time, like you could easily do a 5 or 6X, just look at Optimism, for instance. Even if you, held from when it initially airdropped back in the beginning of June, you'd be up, 50%, depending on how much you had airdropped, right? So, if you got airdropped $1,000 worth of Optimism token, you'd be sitting at 1,500. But, if you are a trader, you could be looking to sell after a massive sell-off. The thing is it's going to be very hard to understand, like, when is the bottom going to be here, right? Because I'm sure a lot of people thought that this was the bottom, right? Or, maybe if it kept lower, they kept thinking that was going to be the bottom. So that's just kind of like the gamble that you're taking. Personally, I am due to get some tokens. So if we actually come over here, I'm supposed to receive just under 2,000 Arbitrum tokens because I actually have used, the GMX protocol, which let me pull up for you guys here. Now, if you're not familiar, GMX as well, this is a decentralized leverage trading platform, and it runs both on the Arbitrum network as well as the Avalanche network. But it's been a lot more popular and a lot more adopted because of the Arbitrum network. So if you actually go into the app right here, you'll see that you're able to, like I said, leverage trade. As you can see, Arbitrum and Avalanche right there. And you could do a decent amount of tokens, obviously Ethereum, Bitcoin, Chainlink, Uniswap, and then you have your stable coins as well, if you did want to, lock in some profits. And then leverage actually goes up quite high, up to 50x. Now, the beautiful thing about some of these decentralized leverage trading platforms is you can see all the transactions happening right there, right? You can't really necessarily see it on Binance, on KuCoin, some of these other large exchanges. You need like those fancy gadget tools like High Block Capital. But with GMX, you don't, because again, it's a decentralized leverage trading platform. So you can see it all right here. You can even see they have 2 tokens. They have a GMX token and a GLP token. So me personally, I actually have used GMX. I've had a lot of success with it. So if you do want to, start playing around with it, because as we can see, there are some requirements for you to be even eligible for this airdrop. So you have to actually bridge assets to Arbitrum. You have to have transactions, frequency and interaction. And then these are the ones where it kind of starts to get a little bit more difficult because you just need to trade and have a lot more money. As you can see, you need to have conducted at least $10,000 worth of transactions total. You could do 50,000, 250,000 as well. Then bridging assets, same thing. You would have to bridge, at least $10,000 worth. So again, it's the whales and the big holders or the people with a lot of money are going to be the ones that actually, do get a lot of tokens. But again, I'm not complaining. It's free money. So my strategy personally is I'm probably going to be holding until the next bull run. We still are in a bear run, at the time of me making this video. Bitcoin is having a crazy run up. We're sitting at 27K, 27,500. A lot of people are looking at this area right here, like this 28 to 30K level for Bitcoin. I've drawn out this meme line, so we'll see how it plays out. So far, kind of playing to a T. Maybe we'll have a pullback here, a decent pullback, to set ourselves up to continue going higher. But let's just get into it. So again, Arbitrum is going to be having their own token launching. Again, if you're not familiar with it, it's a layer 2 scaling solution, very similar to like a Polygon, very similar to like a Matic. And obviously there's like a bunch of other smaller ones, but Arbitrum, Optimism, and Matic are really the biggest ones. Now, Matic has been king for quite some time. Matic really has been the go-to, layer 2 scaling solution. It pretty much came out at a very good time, or their, layer 2 came out at a very good time when Ethereum gas fees were super high, so it was really rapidly adopted. But again, if we do go and look at TVL, and this is DeFi Llama, by the way, so if you never use DeFi Llama, make sure you do, because it, like I said, it gives you a pretty good insight as to, just TVL kind of gives you like the idea of like the health of a blockchain or a solution or a scaling solution. So as we can see, during that crazy bull run, back in, May 2021, Polygon hit a TVL of about almost $14 billion, which is pretty crazy. And then, really throughout 2022 or throughout 21 and 22, it was the king for quite some time. As we can see, even going into the new year, last year, it stayed that TVL around that $10 billion, but then it really started to drop off, and since then, as we can see, TVL has just completely died off. It almost kind of looks like a rug pull, you would say. Now, there's obviously been a massive token unlock that's happened with Polygon. So a lot of people that got in really early, they started selling. But if we look, around the time when this, massive, drop off happened in Arbitrum, or in Polygon, excuse me, it looks like it went to Arbitrum. So same thing here. If we look, for the most part, actually, Arbitrum was somewhat healthy here, in the early 2022, it had its ups and downs. Now, again, this was like that crazy capitulation event where Terra Luna, Celsius, BlockFi, all of them collapsed. We could look at Optimism, or actually we could look at Polygon as well. Same thing. This was, right in the summer months, just completely collapsed. Optimism, it only came out in July, so that's why I had a crazy spike up. But what I'm trying to get at here is you have to understand is that money doesn't necessarily disappear in crypto. It just moves to a different protocol. So right now, it looks like that a lot of money is starting to flow into Arbitrum ahead of this token launch or ahead of this token airdrop, as well as, again, they're just a really good scaling solution. Super cheap to use, super fast. The only downside with Arbitrum is that it takes basically over a week to bridge your assets, back from the Arbitrum network into Ethereum. Now, the caveat or the way to get around that is, if you're using a MetaMask or any, Web3 wallet, instead of you having to go to bridge, from your Arbitrum network onto Ethereum, you could just send it to an exchange that accepts, the Arbitrum blockchain. So things like KuCoin, Binance.com, you probably have to use a VPN. So that's kind of a way to get around it. But so this is their website. And then right here, this is, if you go to arbitrum.foundation, this is where you can check to see your eligibility, how much of the token airdrop should you actually receive. And then there is an actual price of, there's an actual like kind of IOU coin, as we can see on CoinMarketCap. So it's kind of like speculating what the price of Arbitrum would be. So let's kind of get into that right now. So again, on Twitter, there's a bunch of like, people trying to figure out what's going to be the price. Here's a good example. They're comparing the ARB token market cap and the price prediction. So they're saying, okay, for the amount of Arbitrum tokens that are going to be released, which looks like the circulating supply right now is about 1.3 billion that they're going to airdrop total. So they're basically saying that, okay, if this many tokens were out and it had the market cap of Ethereum, then the Arbitrum token price would be $155. And then it goes down the list, same thing for Binance Chain, Polygon, Tron, So even if Arbitrum, had the market cap of Optimism, it'd be worth about 60 cents. Now, that's nothing to get, too crazy about because, I'd only be getting 1,700 tokens, so it'd be worth, a couple $100. So a lot of people are betting and hoping that it's maybe going to be somewhere in like that $2 to $3 range because Optimism, as we can see, once it kind of, found its bottom and started climbing up, Optimism's on its way to hit $3 yet again. It got up to as high as about $3.30. So if it does, do anything like Optimism, maybe minus this huge sell-off, if it just does have really great fundamentals right off the beginning, a lot of people aren't selling, then yeah, maybe we'll see like that $2 or $3 Arbitrum and a lot of people will be rich. But regardless, I am going to be looking to hold. So that's kind of what a lot of people are just trying to figure out, is what's really going to be, Arbitrum's price. Again, we can speculate all that we want. As we can all agree by now, is that the long game is the right game. So if you're just looking to hold for quite some time, you're going to end up making money. And then again, it's just comparing some of the other price points and potential valuation of Arbitrum. So again, if super ecstatic, like if it continues to have crazy high TVL, 12% gets unlocked, fair distribution value 25 billion. Then they do that value compared to total value locked. Again, 250 Arbitrum per token, $1.20. If it does maybe something somewhat okay. And then, here like the lesser predictions, like, okay, maybe it's not that great of a launch. So it could be worth like, 30 cents or 65 cents. So that's going to come entirely up to you, which way that you want to play this. Again, I'm going to be looking to hold out for quite some time with Arbitrum, because I think that it is going to be doing some pretty good gains. And if GMX begins to support the Arbitrum token, which I do speculate that they will, then that could also obviously push the price up higher, because again, a lot of people are trading on the Arbitrum network with GMX. And if we just come back to their dashboard, let me see if we can just go to GMX altogether. I want you to look at the overall trading volume that happens on GMX. You just got to give it a little second here to load up. But they're in the billions, like tens of billions for their trading volume, which is quite crazy, guys. The fact that a decentralized trading platform like this, has multiple billions that is being actively traded on. It is quite scary, and they actually have a lot of users as well. So looks like their site is bugging. Let me refresh it. So there we go. So right now it looks like they're almost at 26,000 users, which is quite high. Open interest, they were, well over 100 million. I'm sure it's because, the market is kind of doing some crazy things right now. But total trading volume is sitting at $112 billion, guys. That is huge. That is a lot for total trading volume. It's actually up there with like Binance. Let's actually take a look at Binance's 24-hour trading volume. Now, again, that was total, right? So Binance's 24-hour trading volume is $31.5 billion. GMX, the overall trading volume has been over 112 billion. So I guess, it's not anything like Binance, but it's still quite impressive for a decentralized exchange. And then right now their open interest is sitting at, 110 million, and actually they have even more users, 250,000 users. So that's actually really impressive there, guys. So that's kind of like the video on Arbitrum. I didn't want to go into like too much detail. So again, if you want to go check your eligibility, make sure you go to arbitrum.foundation. You'll probably have to connect your MetaMask or whatever Web3 wallet. Now, if you guys aren't even familiar with Web3, if you've never used a MetaMask or any Web3 wallet or even Arbitrum, let me know in the comments down below. I'm more than happy to make a tutorial on how to set up a MetaMask, on how to even access the Arbitrum network and ecosystem, and maybe even how to do a couple of these chores that you would have to be eligible for the airdrop. So let me know in the comments down below if that's what you guys do want to see. DeFi Llama, again, a great platform to check out, guys. A lot of great information to look at here. It might be a little overwhelming if you're fairly new. The only thing that you really want to look at is total value lock. This just kind of gives you an idea of how much money is actually being not only put into the ecosystem, but people are leaving it there. So as we can see, Ethereum has obviously the highest total value lock, due for a number of reasons: staking, lending platforms. It's just the most liquid, blockchain out there. So, they have a total value locked of 42 billion, but at one point, they were sitting at basically 150 billion, which is really impressive. So again, just let me know in the comments there below. If you've never used Arbitrum or MetaMask, I'll make a tutorial if need be. You can check out their website as well, arbitrum.io. Make sure you guys do go follow them on Twitter, because I'm sure that they're going to be giving a lot of updates in there. And then, the actual airdrop is going to be happening in about 5 days here, so in a little bit under a week. So I think it's March 23rd that they said. So what's that, like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week? Sorry, my dog's barking over there. So make sure you guys are ready. This airdrop is going to be happening. Expect volatility at the very beginning. And then, yeah, guys, if you appreciate this video, make sure you guys leave a like, a comment, share it with somebody. If not, leave some constructive criticism in the comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.